Okay, welcome back to Thrall. I have been doing quite a bit of work on the game lately, and I wanted to showcase a little bit of what I've been working on. Uh, okay, so I'm working on the next dungeon here, which is, depending on who you take, going to be different. Or I guess depending on who you leave behind. So, at one point early in the game, you can choose who you want to leave behind. You've got Lionel, Damien, Mel, and Brutus. On this particular save file, I've left behind Brutus. Now, if you leave behind Brutus or Mel, then after you recruit Jess, which is what the current demo includes, you will be sent to a place called the Demico Estate. But if you leave behind either Lionel or Damien, you miss a critical piece of information when you go to Aleston, which means that you don't know to go to the Demico Estate, and instead you get sent to a place called the Frozen Hold. I'm currently working on the Demico Estate. I finished a cutscene that I kind of want to showcase, and I'm actually looking to get a little bit of feedback on that, so I'm going to be posting it to the Plexicrafts Discord here, and we're going to see just what I can do to maybe improve upon this a little bit. But just for a little bit of context as to what goes on at this point in the story, so we left behind Brutus. We traveled to... I will actually just open up the world map here. So we traveled to Aleston. Aleston is Mel's hometown. Now, Mel's hometown at this point had been attacked and overrun by vampires. When we got to Aleston Cathedral, we found a vampire master who had led the attack. And because we left behind Brutus, we were able to injure but not kill him, and we were able to get some information out of him, such as what his name was and who was behind the attack. From what we know at this point, we know that Dracula ordered the attack on Aleston, but we don't really know why. All we know is that the person that got sent to attack Aleston is someone by the name of Carlos D'Amico. And the D'Amicos are a fairly powerful noble house on the outskirts of the main provinces before you start reaching the desert provinces out east. Now, the Demico Estate kind of borders vampire territory, but it hasn't really been known for sure whether or not vampires are actually within the nobility of the Demico Estate, but realizing that Carlos D'Amico, the son of Lord and Lady D'Amico, is a vampire himself, pretty much indicates to us that we know for sure that there are now vampires among the nobility, and it's entirely possible that Lord and Lady D'Amico themselves are in fact vampires. We are looking for Brutus, who has now been taken away by Dracula. We are trying to figure out where he's been taken, and so we figure that by going to the Demico Estate and having a, I guess, somewhat diplomatic meeting with Lord and Lady D'Amico, D'Amico? I keep kind of mixing up pronunciations of that name. I'm still not sold on which one. I'm going with the more Italian pronunciation as opposed to the Spanish, so D'Amico. But at any rate, I think I actually had initially envisioned the more Spanish pronunciation, and I might be mixing them up right there anyway. Anyway, irrelevant for this. We're hoping that by going to the Demico... I'll say D'Amico for now. By going to the Demico Estate and questioning Lord and Lady D'Amico, we may be able to get an idea as to where Dracula has been taking his captives, and by extension, where we can find Brutus. Just for a little bit more context, when we did confront Carlos D'Amico at Aleston, that confrontation did end up with us killing Carlos. So it's we are now the ones behind his death, but nobody within the D'Amicos actually know that. Nobody knows who we are. We're kind of just a band of mercenaries on the outskirts of the province at an abandoned, ruined keep. We're fairly anonymous in that sense. So with that, let's go to the Demico Estate. I'm going to mix up the pronunciation of that over and over again, but I will eventually nail it down. Just bear with me. Let's go to the Demico Estate and let's see how this cutscene plays out, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So I'm actually going to mute my microphone from this point forward and just let the game speak for itself. Okay, and with that, now the rest of this dungeon is, like the others, procedurally generated. And the idea is that you have to kind of break your way through, and you will eventually find your way back to Lord and Lady Damako, where you engage in a double boss battle for this dungeon. And we got new enemies here with gargoyles that appear as statues until you get close, and then they burst free. Similar to the gnomes from the Lyre Forest. So, obviously the dungeon is still in progress, but this is what we have so far. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Would love to get some feedback on this. Yeah, that is it for the updates so far. And yeah, I'm still working hard on the game. It's taking longer than I want it to, but I'm hoping to have it done by the end of 2026. No guarantees that that's actually going to happen, though. For passion projects such as this, deadlines can sometimes be flexible, whether I want them to be or not. So, anyway, that'll do it for this video, so catch you next time.